Imagine two people starting the exact same business tomorrow. One is 28 years old with endless energy but very little experience. The other is 55, with decades of solving problems, managing people, building relationships, and making difficult decisions. Most people automatically bet on the younger entrepreneur. Yet research consistently shows something surprising. Multiple studies, including work from MIT and the US Census Bureau, have found that successful high-growth companies are more likely to be started by middle-aged founders than by people in their 20s. Experience compounds, judgment compounds, networks compound. Today, we're going to uncover 25 businesses that are uniquely suited for experienced professionals and explain why many actually become easier to build after age 50. By the end of this video, you'll understand which opportunities fit your background, how to evaluate them, how much they can realistically earn, and the mistakes that keep talented people from succeeding. This isn't about chasing trendy startups. It's about building practical, low-risk businesses that leverage everything you've already learned throughout your career. As always on this channel, we are not sponsored by any company, and you won't find any affiliate links in the description. This is not a paid promotion. Every recommendation we make is based solely on our own research, analysis, and opinions. We are not paid or influenced by any sponsor. Our required disclaimer. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered financial, investment, tax, legal, or accounting advice.
Hello, if you're new to the channel, I'm Dave Karpinski. Yes, I am a real person behind this. I bring more than 40 years of global consulting and executive leadership experience, working at some of the world's most respected consulting organizations, including McKinsey & Company, Accenture, Ernst & Young, IBM, Infosys, Cognizant, and SAP. Throughout my career, I've advised hundreds of C-suite executives and led large-scale business transformations for Fortune 500 companies and major public sector organizations, including Google, Nike, Lockheed Martin, Disney, Costco, government agencies, the military, defense organizations, and leading technology companies. I hold a PhD, an MBA, PMP, and ProSci certifications, along with multiple SAP certifications. Everything you see on this channel is built on real-world experience. While I use AI to enhance research, visuals, and production, the ideas, strategies, analysis, and insights come from decades of hands-on consulting and leadership. My goal is simple: help you understand AI, business, technology, leadership, and investing through practical, experience-backed advice you can actually apply. I'm glad you're here, and I hope you'll join me on the journey.
For years, society celebrated the image of the young entrepreneur working from a garage. Those stories are exciting, but they're also unusual. Most successful businesses don't require inventing revolutionary technology. They require solving ordinary problems consistently. That's exactly where experience becomes valuable. If you've spent 20 or 30 years in accounting, manufacturing, healthcare, sales, logistics, construction, education, or corporate management, you've seen thousands of inefficient processes that younger entrepreneurs haven't even encountered. Experience reduces expensive mistakes. It helps you recognize patterns faster and make better decisions with less information. That advantage doesn't show up on a resume, but it dramatically lowers business risk. The next question is how to turn decades of knowledge into actual income. Here's the biggest mindset shift. Stop asking, what business should I start? Instead ask, what valuable problem have I solved hundreds of times? Businesses exist because problems exist. Every career builds expertise that someone else will happily pay to access. Maybe you've negotiated contracts, managed projects, hired employees, improved operations, or implemented software. Those skills are transferable across industries. Imagine charging businesses for one day of advice that saves them weeks of frustration or thousands of dollars. Suddenly, your experience becomes a product instead of just a paycheck. Once you understand that concept, dozens of opportunities begin to appear where you never noticed them before. Your first opportunity is independent consulting. If you've spent decades solving business problems, companies will often pay for that knowledge without requiring a full-time hire. Start by choosing one specific problem you know exceptionally well, define a clear service, and reach out to former colleagues and business contacts. Startup costs are often under $2,000, making this one of the easiest businesses to launch after 50. Experienced consultants commonly charge $150 to $300 per hour. The second business is executive coaching. Help managers, executives, or business owners improve leadership, communication, and decision-making. Certification can help, but isn't always required if your career already demonstrates credibility. Monthly retainers of $1,000 to $5,000 per client are common. Both businesses rely more on reputation than capital, but your next opportunities can become even more scalable. Many small and mid-sized companies need experienced leadership, but can't justify hiring a full-time executive. That's where a fractional CFO, COO, CIO, HR leader, or operations executive becomes valuable. You might spend 1 or 2 days each week with several businesses instead of working for one employer. 5 clients paying $3,000 per month can create a 6-figure business. Business number 4 is corporate training. Organizations continually invest in leadership, project management, customer service, sales, compliance, and technology education. Package your knowledge into workshops lasting half a day or several days. Startup costs are low, and experienced trainers often earn $2,000 to $10,000 per workshop. Next, we'll look at businesses that generate income long after the initial work is complete. Instead of selling your time forever, package your expertise into products. Business number 5 is creating online courses that teach skills you've mastered during your career. Whether it's accounting, management, sales, engineering, healthcare, or software implementation, people pay to learn from experienced professionals. Create the course once and sell it repeatedly. Business number 6 is selling digital templates, playbooks, checklists, contracts, spreadsheets, or operating procedures. Businesses constantly buy tools that save time. Startup costs are extremely low, often under $500 if you already own a computer. While income grows gradually, successful creators can generate anywhere from a few $100s to well over $20,000 monthly in recurring sales. The next businesses combine your experience with today's fastest-growing technology. Artificial intelligence has created enormous opportunities for experienced professionals. Business number 7 helps companies implement AI tools into everyday operations. You don't need to build AI. You simply identify repetitive work, recommend practical solutions, and oversee implementation. Learning today's AI platforms takes weeks, not years. Business number 8 focuses on employee AI training. Companies know AI matters, but many employees don't know how to use it effectively or safely. Offer workshops covering productivity, prompt writing, automation, and AI policies. Startup costs are minimal, demand is growing rapidly, and businesses routinely spend thousands of dollars helping employees become more productive. But there are also traditional service businesses that remain remarkably stable regardless of technology. Every year, businesses lose valuable contracts simply because they submit weak proposals. If you've written RFP responses, technical documents, or business cases during your career, proposal writing can become a profitable niche. Winning one large contract can justify fees ranging from several $1,000s to much more. Business number 10 is grant writing for nonprofits, schools, municipalities, and research organizations. Strong grant writers help secure funding worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. Startup costs remain low because you're selling expertise instead of inventory. Entry into the market requires developing a portfolio, but demand continues growing as organizations compete for limited funding. The next businesses generate predictable recurring monthly revenue. Bookkeeping remains one of the most recession-resistant businesses because every company needs accurate financial records. Modern cloud accounting software makes serving clients remotely easier than ever. If you've worked in accounting, finance, or business administration, the learning curve is manageable. Many bookkeepers charge between $300 and $1,000 monthly per client. 20 clients quickly become a healthy 6-figure business. Business number 12 is payroll management. Small businesses often outsource payroll to avoid costly tax mistakes and compliance issues. Startup costs are modest, recurring revenue is predictable, and client retention tends to be high because businesses rarely switch providers unless service declines. Now let's move beyond the home office into businesses built around managing people rather than doing physical labor. Property management offers recurring monthly income by overseeing rental homes, maintenance, tenant communication, inspections, and vendor coordination. You don't need to own rental properties to manage them for investors. Strong organization and communication skills matter far more than physical labor. Business number 14 is senior move management. As millions of baby boomers downsize, families need trusted professionals to coordinate moves, organize belongings, arrange donations, and manage logistics. Empathy becomes just as valuable as project management. Startup costs for both businesses are relatively low. Demand is growing steadily, and referrals often become the primary source of new business. Our next businesses leverage decades of professional relationships. If you've spent years building an industry network, executive recruiting can become an extremely profitable business. Companies gladly pay significant placement fees to find exceptional leaders, especially for specialized positions. A single successful placement can generate tens of thousands of dollars. Business number 16 is business brokerage, helping owners buy or sell privately held businesses. As many baby boomers retire, thousands of profitable small businesses will change ownership over the next decade. Startup costs remain modest compared to many industries, although licensing requirements vary by location. Relationships, trust, and negotiation skills matter more than expensive equipment. Next, we'll explore businesses where experience creates immediate credibility. Businesses operate under increasing regulations, creating strong demand for experienced advisors. Compliance consultants help organizations meet industry standards, prepare for audits, document procedures, and reduce legal risk. If you've worked in healthcare, finance, manufacturing, government, or technology, much of your existing knowledge transfers directly. Business number 18 is safety consulting. Manufacturing plants, warehouses, construction companies, and transportation firms constantly work to reduce workplace injuries and insurance costs. Helping prevent one major accident can save a company hundreds of thousands of dollars, making consulting fees relatively easy to justify. Both businesses require credibility, more than capital, and often lead to recurring advisory relationships. That brings us to our final pair of opportunities. Nearly every organization runs projects, yet many struggle to complete them on time and within budget. Business number 19 is providing outsourced project management, helping companies lead software implementations, facility expansions, product launches, or operational initiatives. Experienced project managers can command premium rates because failed projects are incredibly expensive. Business number 20 is process improvement consulting. Every inefficient workflow wastes time, money, and employee productivity. By mapping processes, eliminating bottlenecks, and introducing automation, you can deliver measurable financial results. These businesses have relatively low startup costs, strong demand across nearly every industry, and scale well through referrals. Now that you've seen all 20 opportunities, the real question becomes, how do you choose the one that's right for you? Don't pick the business with the biggest income potential. Pick the one where your existing experience gives you the biggest unfair advantage. Create 3 simple lists. First, write down every problem you've solved repeatedly during your career. Second, identify which of those problems businesses consistently pay to fix. Third, rank them based on startup cost, demand, and your confidence level. Look for opportunities where you already know the customers, understand the industry, and have relationships you can leverage immediately. That's where business risk falls dramatically, while your chances of success rise. In the final section, we'll build a practical roadmap for launching, finding clients, avoiding costly mistakes, and turning decades of experience into a thriving business. One of the biggest mistakes aspiring entrepreneurs make is believing they have to quit their job before starting a business. In reality, many successful businesses begin as side ventures. Keep your existing income while validating demand. Your first goal isn't replacing your salary, it's proving that strangers will pay for your expertise. Set a target of landing 3 paying clients before investing heavily in branding, websites, or expensive software. Each client teaches you what customers actually value. That real-world feedback is worth far more than months of planning. Once you've validated demand, the next challenge becomes finding customers consistently. Most people immediately think about social media, but that's rarely where experienced professionals land their first clients. Start with people who already know your reputation. Former coworkers, vendors, customers, industry associations, LinkedIn connections, local business groups, and professional organizations often generate the quickest opportunities. Reach out personally, rather than broadcasting generic announcements. Explain the problem you solve, the outcomes you deliver, and who benefits most from your services. One satisfied client frequently leads to referrals that cost nothing to acquire. Before long, your network begins working like a marketing engine. But attracting clients means little if you charge the wrong prices. Pricing is where many new business owners leave thousands of dollars on the table. Customers rarely care how many hours something takes. They care about the outcome. Imagine you help a manufacturer reduce inventory costs by $250,000 annually. Charging $15,000 for that project suddenly looks inexpensive. That's value-based pricing. Compare that to billing hourly, where efficiency actually reduces your income. As your experience grows, your fees should reflect business impact rather than time invested. Shifting your mindset from labor to results often becomes the single biggest driver of long-term profitability. Now, let's talk about the mistakes that quietly destroy promising businesses. The first mistake is waiting until everything feels perfect. Perfection delays progress. The second is trying to serve everyone instead of specializing. Specialists usually command higher fees because their expertise is clearer. Third, underpricing your services out of fear. Low prices often reduce trust instead of increasing demand. Fourth, ignoring recurring revenue opportunities like retainers, maintenance plans, subscriptions, or ongoing advisory services. Finally, failing to continue learning. Experience is incredibly valuable, but combining decades of knowledge with today's technology creates an advantage that's difficult for competitors to match. And that leads to one final insight that changes everything. Demographics are quietly creating one of the biggest business opportunities in decades. Millions of experienced professionals are reaching retirement age, while businesses struggle to find knowledgeable leaders, consultants, mentors, and specialists. At the same time, AI and automation are eliminating repetitive work, making human judgment, industry knowledge, communication, and strategic thinking even more valuable. Instead of competing with younger entrepreneurs on speed alone, experienced founders compete on wisdom, relationships, credibility, and decision-making. That's a game many have been preparing for over an entire career without even realizing it. Which brings us back to the question we started with. If this video proves anything, it's that building a successful business after 50 isn't about starting over. It's about recognizing the value you've already accumulated. Every project you've managed, every mistake you've survived, every negotiation you've completed, every customer you've helped, and every lesson you've learned has become intellectual capital that someone is willing to pay for. The most successful businesses aren't always built around brilliant inventions. They're built around solving expensive problems better than anyone else. Choose one opportunity from today's list. Talk to potential customers this week. Validate demand before making big investments. Small steps become thriving businesses when backed by decades of experience. If you found this video valuable, subscribe for more practical business strategies, AI insights, investing ideas, and entrepreneurship lessons designed to help you build wealth with confidence. Because your most valuable asset isn't your age, it's everything your age has taught you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. See you in the next video.